It's time for the Excitebots Trick Racing Review for the Wii. This game is the sequel to Excite Trucks, which at the time of this review I have not played yet, so this review will not be influenced by Excite Truck. This game is of course a racer, but what type? It's not really a Mario Kart clone, but it isn't a standard racer either. Think of the vehicles as transformers, each resembling a different animal and each with their own different stats. Each track is based off of a real place in the world, like Egypt, China, and Finland. One of the most noticeable characteristics of the game is that each track is full of jumps and unique boosters. Your bot has its own booster, which really enhances the sense of speed, which is great, but you can't hold it down for too long, otherwise your bot will overheat, and you won't be able to use your booster for a short time. Besides just winning each race, the other main goal is to collect stars. The stars you collect act as currency, and you can use them to purchase new bots and colors for the bots. You can obtain stars by doing tricks and performing tasks as well. Like for instance, each level has at least one bar on the track, either horizontal or vertical. When you come up to a horizontal red bar, you have to rotate your controller, which can either be just a Wiimote alone or a Wii wheel, in sync with your bot on the screen. Each time you perform a rotation correctly, the bot will speed up and eventually will release from the red bar. Once you let go, you will be awarded with a certain amount of stars, which is based on how well you synced up your rotations with your bot. On the vertical bar, you have to lunge your remote forward at the right time to get a big boost of speed as well as stars. Each bar can be tricky to perform correctly, especially the vertical bars. It took me and Lizzie a while to figure out when you're supposed to lunge the controller for an effective performance. You can earn stars in other ways, like bashing into other bots, drifting, maneuvering through a tight line of trees, and spinning and performing tricks while in the air. This is where the trick part of the title comes into play. After going off of a jump, you can hold down the 1 and B button together, then turn your Wii wheel to the left and or right to make your bot spin. Each spin will earn you more and more stars, and if you land correctly, you'll get a boost of speed. The problem with spinning in the air is the controller really has to be turned sharply for the game to register that you actually did move the controller. Even after playing it for a while, Lizzie and I still have trouble getting the controller to register when we turn it for a spin. Another problem is controlling your flight path. It's hard to maneuver while in the air, and if the path curves in any direction, it can be a chore to try to get back onto the path. There are items you can pick up which will either be damaging to your opponents, or they can give you stars if you perform a certain task well. Like here, I need to throw a dart onto the target to receive stars, or like here, knocking down pins will earn me stars as well. One of the items lets your bot get up on its hind legs and run down the path. This item is bittersweet because while it lets you knock down trees and other plant life that would otherwise get in your way, it can be difficult to steer because you have to turn your controller to the left and right quickly while leaning it to the left or right to make your bot run fast. However, if you're on a turn, it can be difficult to make that turn unless you slow down, which in a race is something you really don't want to do. One thing that is totally illogical in this game is the plant life. Seriously, some of the plants must be made out of reinforced steel, titanium, concrete, whatever. Look at this, I'm racing at what looks like well over 100 miles an hour, maybe even 2, and running into this plant makes me crash? Are you kidding me? What am I made out of, Legos? Now I can understand if it's a large tree, but come on, this is a small tree. At the rate I'm going, it should heavily damage it, but no, it just sways a little back and forth while laughing at me as I topple over and lie there pathetically. This gets very, very frustrating. The graphics look good and fit nicely for this type of game. It's nothing too special, but they don't look bad. It takes some good quality time spent to get used to the controls, mainly the steering. Every bot I raced with felt like I was either constantly driving on ice or through wet cement. The controls aren't horrible, but they definitely aren't great either. There's a collection of mini-games which can be fun. Some of them are kind of boring, while others can be pretty enjoyable. There's a mode called Poker Race, where you race around a track collecting different cards for yourself to try to make a good poker hand. This is a unique concept, but I didn't really have fun with it. Perhaps it would be better if it supported multiplayer. There's an online mode which is pretty fun. You can use your current stars to place bets on yourself. Since I haven't played this game for a long time, I always stuck with the lowest bet of 100 stars. Good thing too, because I always came in 4th place or lower. It might have been the type of bot I was using. It seemed like most people use the Roach bot, which I didn't have since I couldn't buy it yet. Anyway, online mode is fun, but make sure you know the tracks and how to use your bot effectively before you play, otherwise you'll most likely finish in a low ranking. Excitebots Trick Racing is a fun, speedy racer with a mid-range difficulty curve. Graphics are good, great sense of speed, a good variety of bots and different stats, challenging courses, a star trick system is a cool feature, many things to purchase, and a fun online mode. However, the controls can be frustrating, namely the steering, plus maneuvering in the air can be difficult too. Some small plants are virtually indestructible, which is stupid. The camera could sometimes be a hindrance, and the level of addictiveness was lower than I expected. I was hoping I would want to come back and play this game over and over, but unfortunately, I don't. It doesn't have a lasting appeal for me. I think if the controls were sharpened up, I would come back to play it more and more. So overall, it's a fun, wacky racer with some issues that need to be tightened up. This is not a racer you can just pick up and play. You'll need to spend some time getting used to the controls of the bots, as well as the layout of each track. Still, it's a game worth checking out. This game gets a 3.5 out of 5 with a title of good.